Good day. Today in this video, I'm going to try to explore the power of intercultural competencies and why these are essential for anyone who is trying to be a global citizen in our interconnected world. And by the form of the content that I'm going to give of trying to explore the intercultural competencies is by trying to understand like our own identity, the cultural dimensions, the cultural intelligence, intercultural communication, negotiation and conflict resolution, and last but not least, the intercultural skills that you need for the future. Well, first I'm going to start with why intercultural competence matters. And now nowadays we live in a time where crossing cultural boundaries is part of everyday life, whether we are at work, in school, or online. Like connection without understanding can lead to miscommunication, and this can lead to conflict, and this can lead to to missing some good opportunities. So that is why developing intercultural competence is no longer optional, is essential. So now I'm going to talk about the understanding identity. And each of us carries multiple layers of identity, which can be like our culture, our values, our belief, our language, and our history. So intercultural competences begins by recognizing that these layers are valid, they are powerful, and often different from our own. So respecting identity is a foundation of being a global citizenship. About the cultural dimensions, these cultural norms can shape how we see the world. And the creator which of this theory was Gerald Hofstede. And this framework helps us to understand the differences in communication styles, the preferences that a leader can have, and the dynamics of a group. So, for example, a culture with high power distance may expect hierarchical decisions, while others they value shared input. About cultural intelligence, cultural intelligence is kind of the ability to function effectively in culturally diverse settings. And this, this theory, it includes four components. The first one is the metacognitive, which is to being aware of your assumptions. The second one is cognitive, which is about knowing about other cultures, like being aware. The third one is motivational, which is having the drive to engage. And the last one is behavioral, which is the ability to adapt your actions accordingly. About the intercultural communications, sometimes words don't always mean the same thing everywhere. And by this, I'm going to put like an example, and it's like a pause where you stay quiet for a certain kind of time. Well, this pause, it might show respect in one culture, but in another culture can create like uncertainty in a conversation. So intercultural communication means listening beyond language, and it's about like turning into tone, silence, and of course, like being aware of the body language. Like maybe in your culture, like I don't know, an expression of your body can mean something, and in another culture can mean all the other way around. So you need to actually be aware about these kind of things when you are talking to another person, to a person who has different culture from the one you have. And about negotiation and conflict resolution, sometimes like negotiation and conflict, they vary, sorry. And some cultures prefer direct confrontation, and others try to avoid it. And intercultural skills can help us to navigate these differences respectfully, and they can allow us to mediate conflict and like to find common ground, and as well to like build the trust across perspectives. And the intercultural skills for the future, well, in order to trying to thrive as a global citizen, we must develop skills like active listening, empathy, adaptability, and humility. And these like skills aren't just nice to have. They are nowadays a must have in diverse teams, in global markets, and inclusive communities. And well, as conclusion, the intercultural competencies are not just professional tools, they are personal values. And they can help us to build not only better workplaces, but in general, like a better world. And as well, like being a global citizen means choosing curiosity over judgment, dialogue over assumptions, and respect over division. So, yeah, thank you for saying the video and for paying attention.